So the topic of this workshop is a micro practice that you can do in under 5 minutes because research shows that being seated continuously is bad for our health, and often we work at our desks, and while there are standing desks, they don't necessarily solve the biggest problem, which is stress, but also, we're sitting in the same position. So you're sitting in the same position for 8 hours, or you're standing in the same position for 8 hours. It's not really a lot different. So I'm about to start a workshop on energetic clearing. I've been doing a series of half-hour videos, so I have people talk about essential oils, talk about acupuncture, talk about chiropractic and different alternative methods. So this energetic clearing that I'm doing, it's not about the molecules, more about the space between, that quantum energetic space that we're really just physically beginning to learn about. And the people who know about that, they're just beginning to understand things that were part of practices thousands of years ago, that we don't have a Western language to quantify, and they're only just beginning to sort of quantify that. What I like to do in this energetic clearing is start with a couple of breathing exercises, get a real personal understanding of the difference between what our normal state is and a more focused and more energetically balanced state is. I will set a timer for 1 minute, and without changing anything or controlling anything, just every time you inhale, count, and at the end of 1 minute, just remember that number. We'll do about 10 minutes of breathing exercises, and you'll come back, and you should notice that that number is lower. So you should be able to experience that for yourself. And if you don't, don't take my word for it. This is an opportunity to do that experiment for yourself. So we're starting 1 minute and begin now. Love your body, take control of your time, steward your finances, tune into your intuition, balance your mind, and calm your emotions. Teaching Ithaca Wellness. Remembering that number, and we'll just take a couple of deep breathing exercises. So the first one, lift your tongue into the roof of your mouth so you can massage that soft palate. Just gently, not pressing hard, breathing in through the nose as deeply as is comfortable. Holding that for a moment, but noticing that space of not breathing. And then exhale long through your mouth. You can make a sigh, you can blow over the top of your tongue, exhaling out down to the bottom of your breath. When you hold the breath, just gently notice a space being between the inhale and the exhale. Inhaling deeply through the nose and exhaling deeply through the mouth. Using that tongue to stimulate your vagus nerve, resting it in the soft palate at the top of your mouth. Noticing perhaps that your exhale through the mouth is longer than the inhale through the nose. Maybe noticing just how long you can hold it without it being uncomfortable at the top and the bottom of the breath. And then return to breathing at your normal rhythm. Noticing if your breath wants to come faster or shallower. If it feels relief, take a moment to notice how that feels for you now. We're going to do a little bit of a Balabate breathing, so that's like a panting but through your nose. You can start sort of like a dog pants. Only doing effort on the exhale, and you're just letting the inhale come in naturally, and you're going to do that through the nose. We're going to do 20 counts And then we're going to do that long inhale, hold it just as long as it's comfortable. Long exhale, hold it just as long as it's comfortable. Take a couple of normal breaths and then do another 20 of the panting breaths. So we're going to do that 3 times. Sitting up straight and just leaning the arms back a little bit. Breathing a half breath in and starting with the Kapalabhati. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And breathing in, holding, and breathing out, holding. Taking a couple of moments to notice how that feels. And then we'll just do one more sort of counted breaths. This is a breath in for 4, holding it in for 2, letting it out for 6, and holding it out for 1. And we're going to do that 10 times, which I'm going to count on my fingers because I will lose count. So, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 1. Now that we're all attuned and we've tried a few breathing exercises, I'd like to go back to that original experiment with that in-breath counting. My first one was 11, and then I was like, just started 6. My plan for the next section of this was to do a partnered share. So if you were each willing to sit across from each other, I'm going to invite the bell now. Envision a line of light coming in, and you're just sort of pulling her subtle body into a strand that you're then going to work with through the crown of her head, or you're going to pull it just in front of you so you can work with it mentally. Imagine focusing the light into this narrow beam, passing through 7 discs of various colors that are within this subtle body. The subtle body, just a column of light. The first disc being the crown in a silver violet color. Imagine that disc slowly coming into balance. Imagine it leveling out. Notice this connection. This first disc from the top, the crown chakra, is a connection to the cosmos. Breathing with that cosmic connection, detaching from any earthly noise, any responsibilities, being one. Coming down into the center of the head, begin to visualize the third eye, royal blue visualization, seeing all those thoughts, the thought body into a blue area, visualizing that disc coming into balance, letting that white light coming down from above wash off as though it's a water solvent, washing that disc and any tarnish of illusion of separateness, allows bringing your attention down lower as your beam of light expands, sky blue, something lighter, airy. This is the chakra of the throat, the energy of your expression. Seeing the light from above expanding into the blueness and being a solvent, letting go of that tarnish of any lies. And if there's a true word that comes up, feel free to speak that. Breathing in, healing. Breathing down into the heart chakra, feeling that light even expanding further. Hold hands or place your hands with the left hand palm up and the right hand palm down, moving that heart energy. You can touch your palms, touch your fingers together, embodying a circuit of love, letting go of any losses, expanding the light even further, maybe encompassing everyone at this fair. Breathing in and down into that yellowness of the solar plexus, your will center, visualizing that spinning disc in a bright yellow color, the solving light coming down and releasing the film from your intention, letting go of any tarnish of shame or disappointment or not enough, letting those tarnished, difficult shadow feelings just release. Even coming down now into that area in the center where you produce life, that center for creativity and bringing into manifestation. As the glowing, healing light comes down through our prism, expanding even wider into this chakra, the solvent light clears all of that guilt of your pleasure off and really allows that glowing orange inspiration to come out and be noticed. And finally, breathing in and out and down into that root chakra. So we see that glowing red. Let's imagine that disc just being so big that the entire earth is floating on that root chakra disc, and seeing it, just visualize that gentle rotation being enough with the solvent light that's now encompassing the whole planet. Uncover the prosperity, not only for yourself, not only for your partner, but for all people. Allow that balance of needs, allow that survival instinct and the fear that we have, the good fear that motivates us. Allow that to be there, and notice any tarnish or shadow falling off the whole world. Of this workshop is a micro practice that you can do in under 5 minutes. A lot of us are desk workers, so we work at our desk. So these are 4 breath practices and 4 postural practices that you can use throughout the day while you're working. This is just a string, and it's got some wooden rollers on it, and you can use that to roll out on your muscles or your back. If you have something like this, it costs about $1. I think I got this at the dollar store, or maybe I got it on Amazon for less than $5. And it's just a little tool that you can use for relaxing, give yourself a little self-massage, 10, 20 seconds, just to sort of settle in. So one of the things when we come into these mindful moments is to concentrate on focusing on just one thing at the time. So beginning with focusing on the breath, I'm going to set a timer for 1 minute. And for 1 minute, we will just breathe. When the minute is over, it will sound like this. So I'm going to go ahead and set that. And just settle in. Place your feet right under your knees, square up your hips, and kind of roll your pelvis forward so that lower back lumbar curve is present. Breathe in deeply. Exhale with a sigh. Sitting up straight, slide your chin back slightly so that you get a little bit of an ocean sound of your breath. And just breathe in slowly and gently through your nose for the remainder of the minute, concentrating on the even flow of your breath. Notice the space between when you fully inhaled and you fully exhaled. 1 minute just to concentrate on your breath, that calm, soothing ocean sound. You can just sit there for 1 minute to come into connection with your center. Now, some of us, when we've been sitting for a while at the same place, we do need to move our bodies. Open up your hips from that same squared knees. Your hips are coming, your thighs are coming straight out of your hips. Your knees are dropping straight down to your ankles, and you're nice and square in your seat. And move back so that your leg is on the edge of the seat and your buttocks is kind of falling off. So bring your left leg onto the corner of the seat and your right leg is hanging off, and then reach back with your right leg and reach back through the heel so that what you're stretching is the psoas muscle. And just hold that for a few seconds. taking to notice where the sensation is. If you're not feeling the sensation opening up in the right hip area in that psoas muscle, then you may need to adjust and move around until you feel that stretching sensation in the front of the hip. And then once you've felt that sensation for a few seconds, you can come back to the center of the chair and turn to the other side, getting your right leg off onto the edge of the chair and reaching back with your left, and move your body around until you feel a gentle stretching. And you don't want to stretch it too much, just to the edge of the sensation, reaching back through the heel and opening up that psoas muscle. Feeling that sensation for just a few seconds. Remembering to keep the breath long and slow. And then just bring it back to center to notice. Sometimes we get a little bit of tired, a little bit of like not quite focused, and you have something, maybe a deadline you want to get to, just want to get the energy flowing. Maybe you don't want to introduce something like caffeine. Strika or bellows breath, we'll call it yoga coffee. So we'll start, put your hands up at like a 60-degree angle. Your hands are open. You breathe in deeply and exhale kind of actively and bring your hands down into fists and your elbows into the side, so your hands are kind of even with your shoulders, and the elbows are in and the hands are up. So breathe, and then allowing the breath in, breathing out actively down. And we'll do that maybe 20 times really fast, so like 1 second per breath. So it's and this breathing technique, it brings the breath in. You may need a tissue to blow the mucus out, kind of clears out the mind. You've got a lot of oxygen pumping in, got your blood pumping a little bit by moving your arms, and it sort of ramps up the energy. You can practice that for about a minute. Some people practice that much longer, depending on the practice that they're doing at home. But just for a mini break for 1 minute, it's easy enough to set the timer for 1 minute, and you're not taking a lot of time out of your day. If you just want to stand up for a minute, and place your feet a little bit wider than hips width apart. So you're not too wide of a stance, but just a little bit wider. And get really settled into that. Feel your knees bend a little bit and stretch out your toes so that you're really rooted down. And then you can kind of bring your attention to stacking your skeleton. And what you want to achieve is total body relaxation while you are standing. You want to allow the muscles that can relax to relax as much as they can, and keep the muscles that need to be active only as active as they need to be to keep you from falling over. Calm energy, returning to the bliss at your center that's always there. Next week on Teaching Ithaca Wellness.
My name is Dr. Pamela Moss. I'm known as the Soul Guide. And what I love to do is to help people really get in touch with who they really are and to live that. And to live their purposeful work, to live their relationships that support them, to live the right livelihood for them.